the topic, guys, we all make mistakes. And actually, we make mistakes because we don't have experience, and the experience comes from the mistakes that we have made. This is like a paradox, or it was a movie, Paragraph 22, many years ago. Anyway, we all made mistakes, it's obvious, but it is important to learn from our mistakes so we don't make these mistakes in the future. Can you hear me well? Can you listen well? All good audio and video. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry, guys. I've got some things to do here in the house. I was in some family meetings, and until I come, it became too late. And also, I needed like 10-15 minutes to prepare everything here. Anyway, I'll make some compensation. 5 from 5. Excellent. Excellent. Punctures this week, Richard, huh? Yeah, shit happens, you know. Sometimes it's like that. Not really good, but it is what it is. All right, what we are doing wrong. No problem, no problem. Whatever, good. Let's wait a couple of more minutes. We'll see if anyone comes. I just sent the links on Patreon on both channels as well. So thank you very much for being my supporters, guys. This help is highly appreciated, especially now in these difficult times when someone decided to spend his hard-earned money for you. It's like I don't know even how to explain it, but it's like something that's worth a lot or means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Link from email message. Okay, good. So the topic, guys, we all make mistakes. And actually, we make mistakes because we don't have experience, and the experience comes from the mistakes that we have made. This is like a paradox, or it was a movie, Paragraph 22, many years ago. Anyway, we all made mistakes, it's obvious, but it is important to learn from our mistakes so we don't make these mistakes in the future. And usually, Nikolai, hello Nikolai, how are you, man? This time you came on time, very good. Nikolai, the topic is going to be what we are doing wrong and what we can fix, or maybe what are you doing wrong, like a question, whatever you want to accept it. So I will be very thankful if at the end of the stream you share your experience with your mistakes and everything that you've done wrong, or the lessons that you learn on the way you traveling. So once again, to remind that everything that we can share today here as information will help to many future new travelers. And yeah, before I start, guys, I have one question for you. I discussed this a lot with my son now, and I've got one idea maybe a year ago to make another one online course, and the topic of this course, or not exactly the topic or the information for this course, is going to be something like online guide for all the countries that I already visit. At that moment I visit around 75 or 77 different countries, and I plan to make this online course with information for every one of the countries that I have been. And I know that you can find a lot of information online now, free of charge everywhere. But the information that I plan to provide there is going to be focused only on a motorcycle travelings. So basically I will give you all the information that I have for every one of these countries. I mean routes, food, currencies, things that you have to know, or anything that I know about the country, places that you can visit, documents, borders, everything that I know. And on some stage I just abandoned this idea, but from the few days I discussed it again, and today I discussed it with my son, and he said that it's like a very good idea. And I also wanted to make it like a one-time payment, let's say $99 or something like that. And for this $99, you're gonna have access to 77 countries at the moment, everything that I have been to that moment. And then it will be lifetime payment, so you pay it once and that's it. So every next country that I visit, I will put information in the course, so it will be there like a lifetime access for all the information that I can collect. Now, for example, at the end of this year, I'll go to South America, and there will be like, I think, like 10, 11 different countries over there, which is mean that at the end of the year, I'll have another 11 countries on this online catalog added. And this will continue until I am in good health and I am able to travel. And yeah, the question is, will you interesting from something like that? And I really want to see what people think about it. And because some people ask me, will it be possible to join, to pay just for one country, let's say $10 for one country, and not going to pay $100 for all countries, that I don't need it? But no, I just want to make it a total price for everything, all the information. Otherwise, I'm not gonna make it. So if you can share, please, guys, now your ideas, or everyone who watched this stream after that, and if you have any opinions on that topic, what you think about it, will it be something that is interesting? Then I can put my shits together and start making this online course, because it will take a lot of time. It will take at the moment minimum like 3-4 months to make all of this information, because this online course means that all of the things need to be recorded on video. So I have to make basically like 77 videos at the moment. Each one of the countries will have a specific video with all the information and links connected to the specific country. So it will take like 3-4 months to make all of this before I really launch the course out. And that's why I'm asking now, do you think that this will be a good idea? And again, to everyone, like at the moment we have like 6 people here, and everyone who is going to watch this stream after that, please reply in the comments down below. It will be very, very useful for me to hear your opinion. All right, so now it says 6 people, so I'm gonna start talking. I have Nikolai, Richard, Alexander. The rest of the people they haven't introduced, so if you introduce yourself will be better. We're gonna know who is there, I'm talking to who. You know me, I don't know you. It's like a one-way connection, but we're gonna find out how it's gonna work. Anyway, the topic, what are you doing wrong? As I said, we make mistakes because we don't have experience, and the experience only comes from the mistakes that we have made in the past. Funny enough, but this is the situation. So the number one mistake that we all have done, and some people still doing, maybe I do it as well, is to overpacking. Okay, just a second. Richard, a one-off payment for all, it will be over smaller version, but like say $20 per continent, like a little north. I also thought about it, Richard, maybe to split it to different continents. But again, because it will be... Oh, Gordy, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Richard, my point is that if I split it to different continents, let's say there will be like 5 different continents, but many people will interesting from one continent, but many others won't interesting from the second continent, and it will stay just like that, and I will waste a lot of time to do it. And that's why I want to make a total amount for everything all together. I'm not sure about the price yet. It might be even less than $100, whatever, but I just want to have a total price for everything. I also thought about different continents. At the beginning, I even thought about each country separately, but then it's a lot of work to make it like that. I don't know, but anyway, thank you very much for the information that you provide, Richard. Thank you. Gordy, nice to see you, man. The rest of the guys, do you want to add some information on the question? Do you want to say something, suggest something before I start with the stream? If not, you can say it later when we finished. But anyway, I'll give you just a minute. So Gordy, Richard, Nikolai, and Alexander at the moment. All right, we're gonna talk about it later. So we make mistakes because we don't have experience, and the experience comes only from the mistakes that we have made. This is strange, but it is what it is. We cannot do anything about it. My father used to say that to become a clever man, first you have to become an old man. No other options. But we also say in Bulgaria that you don't need to discover the hot water if someone already did it for you. So, for example, we're gonna make this stream now tonight, guys, with you. And so many people after that will be able to get some benefits from it. So they're gonna learn probably something, or at least they will thinking in this direction, which is already like a win for us. So yeah, you don't need to discover the hot water if it's already done. So overpacking is a classic mistake for every new rider. I've done it, I'm sure that you've done it, and many people do it every day and will do it for the future. It's the feeling that you're missing something. You prepare your luggage and you think, oh man, I might need this or I might need that. No, 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 no. You don't have to think this way. What I do, or what system works the best for me, is to split everything on the floor, in my garage or in my room here, whatever. Just split everything in front of my eyes. Maybe a week or two before the real trip. Even though now after the years, I know exactly what I need and everything is calculated, even so I split everything in front of my eyes. And every day when I was going there, I was checking. 3 t-shirts, okay, 3 sets of pants and 3 socks, all right, tent, sleeping bag. I see everything. And when you see it, everything with your eyes, you somehow learn that, oh man, I don't really need that. I might need it, so let's remove it. Or, oh, I forgot something. When you have this visual connection with your stuff, it works much better than to have some kind of thoughts on the background. You can also have a list, but I never work with lists. I just prefer to have my visual connection with everything that I have to put on the back. Also, when you have a list, it looks good on the list, but later when you try to put it in your saddlebag, you realize, man, it's too big to my saddlebag. That's why the visual connection is the best option for me. And this is what is my advice. If you can make something similar or similar system or something that works for you, do it. So overpacking is a problem because you know my opinion about the weight. Weight always matters, and if you overpack yourself, that means you will overload your motorcycle, and sooner or later you realize that you don't need that much stuff, and it is like a dead weight on the tail of your motorcycle that always hurting you on some way, if you understand what I mean. So this is something that is easy to avoid if you just have a little experience. Every time you travel, you will travel with a specific items, let's say 20 items, and for the next time you start with these 20 items, and you realize, you know what, from these 20 items, I think that this one, I'm not gonna need it, and they will become 19. And next time you'll say, well, this one I also didn't use much, so they will be 17. But only when you have this visual connection. Because for some trips you might need a specific stuff, for others you might need a little bit different stuff, even though in common the luggage that I have it's almost the same with a small differences, as I said a few videos ago. Now for my trip to Magadan, for example, I have my camping gear, but I did not have with me a sleeping bag and pillow, for example, because I did not even have the mattress. I have only the tent, because I did not plan to sleep in the tent. It was only for emergency situations if I don't have any other options. So yeah, if I watch this spread luggage in front of me on the floor of my garage, I can see that the tent is there, but I don't need the sleeping bag. I can remove it. So the visual connection is very important, and please don't make this mistake or don't make this wrong to overpacking, to take too much stuff, because everything at the end is weight. It might be only, let's say, 100 grams for this watch and 100 grams for this, but 10 times 100 grams is 1 kilogram. 10 times 1 kilogram is 10 kilograms, and this is already a weight, because anything that you take at the end is calculated as a weight, and it will be a problem on some stage on your luggage. Even if it's not a weight, it will be a thing that you have to put somewhere, or thing that you have to recharge or carry or think about it all the time. So the less things you have, the easier it is going to be. This is the number one rule that I can say. Don't overpack, or this is the thing that most of the people do it wrong. They just overpack too much. Number two is to eat too much. Many riders complain that they have problem trying to stay awake for more than 2 hours. I've been asked many times from people, oh man, how you hold yourself for so many hours without getting so sleepy? First of all, when I ride, I don't eat that much. For example, if I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not even hungry 5 o'clock in the morning. I just start the bike and go to ride. And the first thing that I will eat will be around probably 9 or 10 o'clock when I find something on the road. And when I find something on the road, I will usually try to eat something that will last for the whole day. I'm not going to eat some very heavy meals or some meals full with carbohydrates, because this will be a meal that will finish very fast for 2-3 hours, and then my blood sugar will drop like this, and then you'll be sleepy. If you eat something, what I usually eat is eggs. I just eat 4 eggs with cheese or some kind of bacon and with a piece of bread and maybe a juice, and I will have enough sugar and more than enough fat to keep me just full for the whole day. And I never got sleepy like that. Sometimes I really want to sleep, but it's only when I eat too many carbohydrates. Then, as I said, you spike your insulin like that, and then it drops like a plane, and you get sleepy. And you need to stop and eat some sugar again and again and again, and you go to this roller coaster, as they say. So this is the way I do it. I don't eat much during the day. One breakfast maybe at 10 o'clock, and then if I am hungry on some stage in the afternoon, I can grab a soup or some light meals just to keep me a little bit hungry, if you want to say. And then I can have a good meal later in the evening when I stop, when I don't ride anymore. But to eat like you eat on your holidays all the time is just wrong, and you're doing this wrong. My idea is always to finish the day, and then I can eat well. So I'm here to ride, I'm not here to eat. I'm not a culinary journey, I'm on a motorcycle trip. So for me the most important is to do the things that I have planned, or to complete the mission that I have for that day, and I can always eat later. So end of the story, no more to say. The next thing that people are doing wrong is they make their breaks just too long. To stop for an hour or more is not a really good idea. So on all of my stops, what I usually do, I stop just for 15 to 20 minutes to stretch my legs, to fill the petrol tank, to eat something if I'm hungry at the moment, or to grab a tea or something that I need at the moment. But I try to do everything at the same time, 15 to 20 minutes maximum. If you stop for more than an hour, you're wasting a lot of time. So if you're stopping every 2 hours for an hour, for 8 hours trip, you're gonna have like 4 hours breaks, something like that. So from 8 hours riding, you need another 4 hours. It will be 12 hours, and you will cover not so many kilometers. So that's why some people cannot cover many kilometers, or thinking that I'm riding too hard for myself, thousands of kilometers or many kilometers per day. No, I'm not harsh, because if I stop every 2 hours and relax or stretch my legs for 15 to 20 minutes, it is enough for me to survive the next 2 hours. And if I use this system or this option, it always helps me to make many kilometers without even being tired. This is how I've done my last trip to Magadan, 39,000 kilometers. And honestly, guys, I never feel so tired or exhausted, or I did not even have ass pain for so many kilometers, believe it or not, but this was the reality. So if you make your breaks short and efficient, you will not experience any fatigue, as most people did. That's why don't make this wrong, just short breaks and you'll be all right. Another thing that I have seen, it's not so important, but again, some things are not so important, but maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, but when you connect all of the dots at the end of the day, everything became like a big burden, or became powerful. And number 4 from this, the things that we are doing wrong, is having a full rain suite instead of 2 parts. It might sound not on the spot now, but just bear with me, you'll get the idea. Full rain suite protects better, no doubts about it. But it's also like an obligation to have always the full rain suite. I always prefer to have a jacket and pants. I mean rain gear, rain cover, whatever you want to name it. Because if it's a cold day, for example, I can use the jacket just to protect me from the wind. If it's a muddy day or a wet day, I can have only the pants to protect my trousers and my boots from the mud. But if you have a full rain suit, you have to use it all the time. It is very difficult to wear it when you're on the road, when you have to remove your boots and everything. It is also very difficult to remove it. So if you have weather conditions that are changeable in every 10 to 15 minutes or every hour you have to put your raincoat and then remove it again and put it again and remove it again. And when it's a full rain gear, it's very difficult. So as I said, it might sound like something not so important at the moment, but when you have to travel for a month, 2 or 3, every small piece matters, because on some stage you have to work with it, with your gear. And if the gear is not comfortable, it will create more fatigue to you, and then it's understandable. Gordy, I have a light breakfast, then fruit when I need to stretch legs and every meal. Yeah, good for you. But what I will advise, Gordy, is to replace this light breakfast or fruit with something more fatty, like eggs, for example. If you like eggs, just try it once to eat instead of your light breakfast, which will usually, I guess it will be something like bread with some maybe cheese or something. Try to replace it with eggs, 3 or 4 eggs, scrambled or poached, whatever you like. And then you'll see that after these eggs, you'll be full for the next 5-6 hours. And you don't gonna need even fruits. The fruit is good to have some sugar here and there, I'm not gonna deny that, but you'll have a good base with the eggs, and then you can put some fruit on the top. I also do it. I eat bananas or apples sometimes, or oranges, whatever I can find on the road. So this is the tip that I can give you now. So we finish with the full range sweets. Let's now go to the number 5 that I really love, and maybe many won't like it. The number 5 that you are doing wrong is to having a top case with you. You know my opinion about the top cases. I don't like them at all. I think that they're maybe the most ugly item or modification that you can make on any motorcycle. I know that many now will defend their top cases. No, please don't touch my top case, my holy top case. It's so comfortable. I will agree. The only thing that top case makes or push people, or the only reason why people have got their top cases, is because it is so comfortable. That's it. It is comfortable, no doubts about it. You can put a lot of stuff on it. Many people consider this as a plus. I consider it as a cons. When you have the chance to put many things inside, you're gonna put many things inside, and it will be a dead weight, heavy weight on the tail of your motorcycle, and it is going to completely change the way how your motorcycle handle the roads, especially when the roads are bumpy. You will have a really great chance to break your top case, the foundation of your top case, or the pipes that hold your top case. During some of your trips, you will definitely break it. If you're not until now, it is because it is made from very strong materials, your top case, or the plate that you have on your motorcycle is also made from very strong materials, or your motorcycle in general is with a very heavy tail with big pipes or something like that, and maybe this is the reason why you did not break it so far. But if the pipes or the handles are so heavy, if the plate, that luggage plate that you have is so heavy, and your top case is made from some kind of tough aluminum, does mean that in general your motorcycle is very heavy, and this might be a problem on some stage. So the first reason why you did not break it is because it's made from very strong materials and everything that I said. The second is that you never ride anything different than nice and smooth asphalt roads, because if you ride on the bumpy roads, first you're gonna feel the difference with the top case and without top case. It will actually, your motorcycle will go like this. So every time when you have a bump, your front will be detached from the ground. Not much, maybe a couple of millimeters, but because of the weight on the rear side, it will react like that. And on some stage, you might even lose control of your front wheel. I'm sure that if you have a top case and you have ridden it with it, you will know what I'm talking about. So maybe you never ride enough on the bad roads. That's why your top case is still there. You did not break it. A friend of mine, very good friend of mine, very good rider, he's done a lot of trips in many places around the world, but he loved his top case for city riding. He says, man, it's so comfortable. I can put a lot of stuff in, go to the shop to buy some products or whatever, I can put it in, and I perfectly understand him. But last month we went on a small trip here around Bulgaria, and we rode on one bumpy road for, let's say, a couple of kilometers, and he broke the handles of his Tenere, and he needed to leave the top case over there in the bush and come and pick it up on the next day. And now he don't want to put it there again. He said, I know it's very comfortable, but I'm not going to put it there again. So if you understand what I mean. And the next reason why you still did not break your top case is because you just don't have enough trips. On some stage it will break. And can you imagine that you split your luggage in your saddlebags or your hard panniers, whatever you have. So you have like 30 liters here, 30 liters here, and then you plan another 15 liters in your top box. And you have your tank bag, and all of this space is already covered with all the necessary things, all the luggage that you have on the trip. And suddenly your top case breaks, which means that these 15 liters now, they need to go somewhere, but where? You're on the road, you're far away on the road, and these 15 liters or 5 or 10 kilograms that you have there need to be splitted and need to go somewhere else, but where? Your panniers are already full, your tank bag is already full, your pockets are already full. Where are you going to put it? So you have to find a solution to weld these frames or to glue it if they're from plastic, or you need to find some bags to tighten it over there just because you have this top box. If you don't have it on the first place, you will find a solution how to split this gear. If you cannot collect all of the gear that you have planned because now you don't have the top case, doesn't mean that you don't need all of that gear. If you cannot collect it, just leave it at home or take something else on its space, or do you understand what I mean? So enough rant about top case. Another thing that I can mention just on this topic is that top case usually gives this false security sensation. You believe that just because you have top case, you can lock it over there and you can have a lot of precious or valuable stuff inside. Actually, you cannot. The locks of these top cases are very, very simple, and you can unlock it with anything, even with a simple screwdriver for just a couple of seconds. So they are just false security, or they give you this impression that you can secure your stuff, but actually you cannot. And last but not least, I already talked about it, is that it kills the ergonomics of your motorcycle. I already told you everything about the weight that you experience, and the faster you ride, the better you will feel how bad this top case is. Anyway, and the last thing that I would like to discuss on this live stream now about the things that you're doing wrong is to relying on your telephone for navigation, only on your telephone for navigation. I know that many people do that. A lot of my friends also do it. They have one smartphone just for telephones, Facebook, internet, everything, and they use the same smartphone to navigate themselves while they travel. And I'll agree that smartphones are maybe the best way to navigate yourself, because you have options like Google Maps or Yandex Maps or whatever maps you decided to, Maps.me or whatever you decided to have as an application on your telephone. They are very good, they work very well. They have this option to, even if you type the name wrong, it will correct it for you. It is easy. For example, you receive an information from a friend or from someone on WhatsApp, and you immediately can press the button, go to Google Maps and follow this on your dashboard. I agree, this is maybe the best way to navigate yourself. I do exactly the same. But what I do wrong, or what I do different is that I have another one telephone that I keep only for my navigation, so I don't use my main telephone for that purpose. So to rely on your telephone for navigation is good only if you have a spare telephone, or if you use the spare telephone for navigation. As you know, or maybe you don't, but I use a paper maps. That is my main source of navigation. It's a paper map. I rely on the paper map to guide me all the time. And I have my telephone or my second smartphone just as an option to find a specific address when I finally go into specific town or village. Not before that. I don't use it all the time. So if you want to be guided all the time with your smartphone, fair enough, but at least buy a second one just for your navigation, and keep the main telephone in your pocket, because you rely on it to connect with your family, to find information, or for anything else, or just for simple telephone to call people. This was the purpose of the telephone many years ago. Now they are different. Now they are smartphones. So these are the 5 or the 6 things that I believe that some people doing wrong. And now, guys, if you have any questions, or if you want to add some information on this topic, please do it. So I hope that you still hear me well. The connection is fine, because no one said nothing. And then if you have some information to add, I will be very thankful. This will be very useful for people who will watch this stream after that. Gordy, my bike came with a hard luggage, sold it and got soft. Great decision, Gordy. More or less I did the same with my old Tenere. When I bought it in Germany many years ago, it came with the hard panniers, the original, the stock hard panniers. And I said, man, what I'm gonna do with these panniers? I don't want it. I didn't want it at all. But they came with the bike, so I said, I might try to sell it. And I put it on eBay for, first of all, I checked the prices. And they were like, in very good stock condition, they were like 700 to 800 euros. And mine were a little bit scratched, and I tried to sell it for 600 euros. So I put it on eBay for 600 euros. And guess what? I sold it on the next day. So the price of my motorcycle, my old Tenere, drops with 600 euros just for one day. And I said, man, who is going to buy this stuff? But many people love it, love these hard panniers, and they use it all the time. And I will agree, they are very convenient, because you can put a lot of stuff in, but as I said many times, they're just too heavy and not for me, not for my type of trips. But they might be very good option for someone, especially if you travel with a passenger. Then you don't have many options. You should have some kind of saddlebags on the side, or side panniers, because you cannot have a duffel bag on your seat. You cannot even have a seat like this horseshoe like mine. You can technically, but it will give just a very little space for passengers, so they might be necessary for many people. Even so, I will always suggest, instead of hard panniers, go for saddlebags, because they will weigh just around 15 kilograms less. And 15 kilograms is the weight of my entire luggage. Christoph, I have no passenger seat. I have the T7 luggage plate. Yeah, so weight is as long as the tail. Yeah, I saw this option. I prefer to keep my seat for now, because sometimes I have a passenger here around the town. But yeah, I understand, if you never got any passenger, it's a good option to switch to this. You can also remove the passenger packs. If you haven't so far, you will drop another almost 2 kilograms from it. So the reason I keep mine is because I told you sometimes I have a passenger. And also I stretch my saddlebag very well there. I can find another point or mounting point for the saddlebag, but if I have a passenger for some reason somewhere, it's not going to be comfortable without the packs. That's why I still keep them. But yeah, thank you very much for adding this, Christoph. Tent, what I have a tent, a Polish brand Loop or something like that. I have it from from many years already. I don't know, more than 10 years. It works very well. The seat is 2-piece. Passenger seat can be installed when needed. Piece rain is optional. Yeah, I know what it is, Christoph. Yeah, but I just don't need it. Alexander Marek, off the topic, alcohol stories possible someday. I can tell you one alcohol story even now, Alexander. What is the name of my soft luggage? It's a Polish brand, 21 Brothers. I have links in my website, and I have a number of videos on the channel. You can check it. 21 Brothers. Nikolai. Loop, yes, mine is the same. Good value for the money, 1% tent. No, I have a 2% tent. It's not really big. It's a little short, so when I sleep inside, I need to sleep on a diagonal, otherwise my feet touching the tent. But as I said, it's a 3.5 kilograms with everything inside. When I have my sleeping bag and mattress and everything, it became like 4.5 kilograms. Not that big, that's why I keep it. Yeah, exactly, 21 brothers. All right, alcohol story. Alexander, I'm gonna tell you one alcohol story. I'm not a big drinker. I drink here and there one or two drinks when I go on special occasions, like birthday party or something like that. But once per 15 years, once per 15 years, I got really drunk, really drunk. And when I got drunk, man, I am like sick for 2 days. I cannot survive the next day to drink again. No chance at all. So it was 2018, which is mean now we are 24, 6 years ago. 6 years ago was the last time when I got drunk. In 2018, I was planning to go to Ireland and Scotland. And I was living in Berlin back in the days. So I've got a friend in Switzerland, in Zofingen, Switzerland. And he said, what is your plan? I said, well, from Germany, I'll go straight on to France. And in France, I'll go to see the Normandia, to see this D-Day coast and stuff like that. And he said, why don't you come to Switzerland first? We can see each other, drink some rakia, then we're gonna ride around Swiss passes here. We're gonna make like 5 passes for one day, and then you can move to France. And I said, yeah, sure, I can do it. It's a good idea, actually. I also plan to go to another one, Pic Sommelier in France, and his place was actually somewhere on the road. I said, yeah, I can do it. So I went to his place. I rode it from Berlin to his place like 1,000 kilometers. I did it for one day, just like that. I spent like probably more than 850 kilometers on the highway, riding with 100 kilometers per hour, just going there. I wake up very early in Berlin, and 8 o'clock in the evening I was in his place. Of course, after 1,000 kilometers, I was tired. And usually every time when I go to see him, and I've been to his place like 3-4 times before that, we drink one bottle of rakia, like this. Not that big, like 500 grams. It's the brand name Burgas 63. It's a very good rakia, Burgas 63, very good taste. And 250 grams each, it's more than enough for me, but I'm fine. I can ride on the next day. Of course, I got a little dizzy, but normally, it's a normal amount that I can handle without any more serious problems. But on that day, he asked me, okay, where you said that you're going now? I said, I'm going to Ireland and Scotland. Ah, okay. Wait a second, I have very good Scottish whiskey. I said, all right. He brought the whiskey. And it was like maybe 11, maybe 12, maybe midnight on that moment. And he brought this whiskey. And I said, okay, tomorrow we're going to ride, so let's try just a little bit. Gordy, you ordered 40 liters. Yeah, good. My bag is 50 liters, so 40, it's a good option. So he brought this whiskey. I said, man, we're going to ride tomorrow. But when he said, oh, just a little bit, and he opened the bottle, and I smell it, and it has this very, very smoky, I don't know, it's like a smoky taste or smoky sensation, I don't know. But it was very strange, and we tried it. It was very good whiskey, and we got this 1 or 2 glasses, and then on some stage I realized that it's already like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm already drunk. My tongue was that fat. I cannot even talk anymore. And I also hear that my friend is also saying the words in a very strange way. Just to make a long story short, I got really drunk. I said, man, I cannot handle anymore, let's go to sleep. And I went to sleep. It was like probably around 4 o'clock in the morning. And the plan was to wake up 7 o'clock in the morning and go to ride on the Swiss passes. And I went to bed and immediately went to sleep, like this, poof, immediately. And then I woke up at 5 o'clock, probably 5:30, and the whole world was spinning. And luckily, the toilet was next to my door. So I barely walked to the toilet like that, on 4 arms and legs to the toilet, and threw up everything. So vomiting everything in the toilet. And then was a little bit better, I went to sleep again. And around 10 o'clock in the morning, my friend, of course, cannot wake up at 7 o'clock, but he woke up at 10 o'clock. And he opened the door, already dressed with a motorcycle again. I said, okay, how are you guys? Enough sleeping, let's go to ride outside. I stood on the bed and I said, man, I think I'm all right now. I stood up, and then I realized that I'm not all right at all. The whole world was spinning like this, so I went immediately to the toilet, and made exactly the same procedure as before, vomiting and terrible, terrible condition. Came back into the room. I said, man, I cannot. I need at least 2 more hours. I'm still drunk, you see. I said, all right, all right, all right, take your time. So I went to sleep, and he came again around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The same story repeats again. And then around 3 in the afternoon, I said to him, let's make me a coffee. Maybe I will drink one coffee, I'll be all right. I got one coffee, and the things became even worse. Again to the toilet, and again to the bed. And finally, around 5 o'clock in the evening, I was able to stand up, put my gear on, and we went out to ride. And from these 5 passes, we done only one. And I said, man, I cannot do any more. I just feel not good. I cannot ride on the Swiss passes and all of these serpentines and everything when I'm still drunk. So after that, for the whole trip, Scotland and Ireland, I did not get more than 1 beer. And 6 years later, I still did not get drunk because I just cannot. I remember everything so far. So just to give you another one example why it was so bad, on the next morning, the night before, when he showed me this whiskey with a nice smell and nice taste, I make a picture with my telephone, and I was planning to find this whiskey in Scotland later and bring it at home just as a souvenir to remember this night. But on the next morning, when I saw the picture, I got dizziness immediately, so I deleted the picture. That bad it was. But as I said, once per 15 years. 6 years ago, I still have like 9 years more to forget this story, to get drunk again, if you understand what I mean. Irkut. Hey, nice to see you, man. Yeah, I know that I shouldn't mix it, and I usually don't do it, because if you mix rakia with whiskey, these are different type of alcohols, and it's a terrible. We call this in Bulgaria, we call this cocktail iron pants. Richtig, Christoph, richtig. Yeah. Irkut, you came a little late. If you want to add something on the topic that we discussed, what are we doing wrong, please do it so. If not, I'll give you a few more minutes and I'm gonna end this stream here. It is already 9:30 in the evening, Sunday. I'm sure that you have better things to do instead of listening my alcohol stories here. But anyway, thank you very much for coming, guys. Thank you very much for the support as usual. And we're gonna see each other next Sunday. What will be the topic, I still don't know. But I hope that internet and everything will be much better. So take care, guys, and see you next time. Bye-bye.